What's up, folks? Dan here from BeAGameCharacter.com, back with another edition of Q&A Tuesday, which is the absolute best day of the week. I'm sure you agree. We're here on YouTube and on Facebook Live, and I'm still trying to figure out a way that I can set it up so that I'm looking at basically the same lens. Because I feel weird, because I'm looking at YouTube now and I'm looking at Facebook Live now, and I feel strange alternating between the two. So maybe I'll just look directly in the middle, and then it'll look like I'm looking at nobody. So anyway, we got some great questions this week. First off, before we go any further, I know he was brought up multiple times in past Q&A Tuesdays. So Krillin is live on BeAGameCharacter.com. We have the first post. We have the character spotlight for Krillin. The workout will be coming up this Thursday. So I hope you're excited about that. I know I'm so excited about that. It's going to be lots of fun. Also, I am working on a new ebook. So if you have purchased RPG Fitness, this is designed to plug into it. You don't have to have RPG Fitness to enjoy the book, of course. The book is going to be called Boss Battles. It's going to be a whole bunch of one-off, super hard workouts that are not intended to be performed on a regular basis. They're mostly endurance or willpower-based stuff where just like you do something until you're basically dead. Not all of them are like that, but most of them end up feeling like that. And they're all designed with different goals in mind, and I think it's going to be really cool. A lot of people have been asking for it in the past. It was one of the first follow expansions I was going to do for RPG Fitness, so we're finally moving on to that. Boss Battles coming very, very, very soon. Probably by early October, if I had to guess, but we'll see. So, that's it. Business out of the way. We're going to move on to the questions. Let's start off with BenRex777, who says, "Hey Dan, it seems the sound is missing. My new habit is to every day learn a bit of lip reading. Yes, the sound was missing from the last video. I apologize for that. If you were on Facebook, you didn't know it because I was recording that with my cell phone mic, but I actually had my headset mic muted, so the stuff I was recording for the YouTube channel did not have audio. So I apologize for that. Hope you hopped over to Facebook to see the video. Thanks for letting me know, Benny, because I didn't actually notice until somebody commented and said something. This is what I get for the 1 week that I don't pre-watch my video before I head out. Anyway, also, this week's question was, tell me a healthy habit that you are going to be starting this week. Some habit that you're going to begin to better yourself. I don't care what it is, but just let me know. Moving on, we have Project Ronin HD, who does not note a healthy habit that he or she is going to be doing. I don't know if Project Ronin is a boy or a girl or whatever. But hey, Dan, are you going to do the assassin from the Creed movie? I might. I'm not sure. We've already got like 3 Assassin's Creed characters on the blog. 4 Assassin's Creed characters on the blog. We've got Ezio, we have Connor, we have Edward, and we have Desmond. I feel like going back to that watering hole again is a bit much, but, you know, if enough people want it, maybe. I'm really excited for the movie. It looks like a really cool, relatively faithful adaptation of the series, at least going off the trailer, so we'll see. So I'm going to say probably not, but nothing's impossible. So thanks for the question, Project Ronin. However, next time you have to answer the question of the week. Next up, we have Storyman09, who says, "Is this where I should post my question?" And the answer is yes, this is where you should post your question. Although if you post it in the comment on the Facebook Live videos, I will answer it as well. First off, I want to say thank you for answering my really long questions and for motivating me. You're welcome. The blog and these Q&As really help motivate me. The healthy habit I've decided to try is jogging. I'm going to try to get jogging for 20 to 30 minutes every day this week. I've already done so today as of typing this, and I've come to the conclusion that I need work. Well, you know, at least you're doing something. That's the important part. Short question. If you were a character in a kung fu movie, what type of character would you be? Who would be your arch nemesis? And what would the plot be like? If I was a character in some sort of kung fu movie, the plot would be relatively silly. Think like Kung Fu Hustle. Or at least a little campy. I don't know, maybe Big Trouble Little China kind of thing. My arch nemesis would obviously be somebody with electrical powers, because that's like the one thing I can't stand. I can't stand getting like shocked. Like electrical shocks make me go, ooh. Ugh, I can't stand that. When I ran Tough Mudders, like shock therapy was my least favorite obstacle. There's a great video somewhere of me running a Tough Mudder where I'm like just hanging out in front of shock therapy for like 10 minutes trying to work up the gumption to run through it. For those who don't know, shock therapy is the very end of a Tough Mudder, a whole bunch of bare wires hanging down from a big wooden rack, and they all have random electrical charges going through them. So at any point in time, you could be touching a wire, and all of a sudden it zaps you, and it zaps you hard. Like, I've gotten taken down before, and oh, I hate it so much. So anyway, my arch nemesis would have electrical powers of some kind. Absolutely. And what type of character would I be? I'd be kind of like the self-aware hero, I would like to say, since we're going with kind of a campy theme. I'd be kind of the guy that, like, okay, so I'm the hero of the story, but I also realize how ridiculous the whole story is. I think it'd be something like that. So I'd be kind of like, so it would be a dramedy. It'd be funny with some drama. Arch nemesis would have some kind of electrical powers, and I would be kind of aware how ridiculous the whole thing is, like, all the way through. So that's an awesome, very creative question. Thank you, Storyman. John Kimmel comments, so Deadpool. Maybe like Deadpool, but the only thing with Deadpool is that Deadpool is like certifiably like insane. Like, he's crazy. Like, they kind of toned him down for the Deadpool movie. Like, if you read the comics, Deadpool's messed up, man. Like, Deadpool is seriously, like, they've lightened him up a bit now that he's kind of part of the new Avengers and stuff like that, but he's real messed up. So I would say not necessarily all the way to Deadpool, the self-awareness of Deadpool and the comedy of Deadpool, but Deadpool's messed up, man. Like, he's funny, he's a great alternate weird character or whatever, but he's also, like, kept people trapped in torture chambers in his house and stuff like that, and also has, like, a love affair with death. So, I don't know. Deadpool goes a little far for me. I do like the character, but next up, we have Lambdo, who has no question and no feedback, just says, man, I love you. You're my inspiration by Italy. Okay, man, I love you too, Lambo. I'm assuming that you're from Italy, and that's why you're posting by Italy, so thank you so much. I'm really glad that I can give you inspiration and help you out, so that's great. Thank you so much for that comment. That made me feel really good. Next up, we have Benny. And Benny, by the way, I know you gave me a math challenge last week. I have not had a chance to finish it yet, but I will. I promise I will. It's going to happen. I can't even tell you how busy everything is right now, so I will try and figure out a time where I can sit down and start working on it because I'm really intrigued. I want to solve it. I did not look at Google. I will not look at Google. I will figure this out for myself. I just haven't had a chance to take a whack at it yet, so don't think I forgot it. Just not this week. So anyway, moving on. Hello, Dan. My new healthy habit will be something I planned for a few weeks now. With the start of the new semester this Monday, I will stand up a little early and read in the Bible and pray with a list of prayers I created myself. Whenever something comes to mind, I will expand that list. If you view it through the eye of Unleash the Ultramind, you can see two benefits. In this list, I will write down everything that is important to me, and also in there I will stretch out some goals for my life. With this habit, I reserve a time in the day to think about me and others. That helps me have a clear mind on what is important to me and what do I need to change on myself. Of course, the Bible and the prayers are important for me as a Christian as well. And by the way, the lip reading was a joke. Yes, I know. So that's really cool. That's a great habit. You know what? And I don't care what religion people subscribe to or whatever. It's totally fine. It's your own thing. But a lot of people underestimate spiritual health when they think of overall health. You know, you've got mental health, you have physical health, but spiritual health is also a thing. And whatever you do to satisfy that is fantastic. And the other thing is that your habit is going to be dual purpose. You're going to have spiritual health, obviously, but also it is a meditative practice, and as you said, it's going to keep your mind present and focusing on the day-to-day life and your effect on other people, so that's very, very good. That's an excellent habit. I hope you're sticking to it, because that sounds really good. I like that habit a lot. Now the question for you. While doing parkour, I hit my leg and got swelling. After around a week, it inflated, so I went to the doctor, and she told me to rest the leg for around a week. Therefore, I need to walk around on crutches. But at home, I jump around on my left leg. It's quite fun, especially because I only need to walk with those for about a week. What kind of injuries did you have in the past, and did you ever injure someone else? All right, we're going to go, let's see, go full gambit here, as abridged as possible. When I was 6 years old, I got my ear ripped off by a swing set. Not completely ripped off. They stitched it back on. I've still got the scars. I don't know if you can see. You can't really see them anymore because I was 6 and whatever. But there's basically, like, I ripped from here all the way around back to behind the ear here. So I ripped my ear. That was the first major injury of my life, I guess. I have scapular bursitis in this shoulder, which means that basically There's a little sack of fluid almost that's under your shoulder blade that kind of can get inflamed, and mine is perpetually inflamed. I have chronic scapular bursitis. So basically it means that my shoulder blade doesn't really sit properly back there, and depending on how my body is feeling any given day, it can either be really inflamed and kind of hurt, or it can like grind along my rib cage in the back there, which is not a pleasant sensation, let me tell you what. There's really not that much to be done for it. I have done rehab exercises for it, which have really, really helped. But I will always have a messed up shoulder because of that. Not that keeps me from doing anything. It's funny, I went to the doctor. I was like, all right, so what can I do and what can I not do in this? He's like, well, he said, for the most part, you can basically just power through it. It's just going to hurt. He was like, you're not going to make it go away. You know, you can take Tylenol or something like that to bring the swelling down. He gave me a cortisol shot, cortisol, whichever was the anti-inflammatory, to bring it down a bit. But for the most part, just physical rehab was the best I could do for it. So that's something that I had that will never go away. I believe I got that like mostly through judo. I think I remember the night that it happened when somebody tried to throw me and it went really poorly and I jammed my shoulder up and something happened. I think it's kind of been inflamed ever since then. I think that's might have been when the initial injury happened. But that was like years and years and years ago. Other injuries. I can't tell you the number of times I have broken toes. Like all of my toes, except the big toes. I haven't broken either of my big toes, but the number of times I've broken or dislocated various toes on my feet because of martial arts type stuff, like just tons and tons and tons. I dislocated my ring finger. Was it this hand? I believe it was this hand. I think it was my right hand. I dislocated this finger, and this finger all in one go at karate camp once. Not even doing something martial arts related. We had a big slip and slide that we were on. And I went sliding down. There was a hole in the plastic that I wasn't aware of. We make it out of, it's giant. It's construction plastic. It's mats laid down a hill. It's fantastic. It's tons of fun. But somebody tore a hole in it, and I didn't see it. And these three fingers got caught in it, and they all went bop, 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 bop. And I felt it happen. Like I felt that jolt that you get. And as I'm sliding, I'm like, oh, that's gonna really hurt. And then I got up and I looked at it, and all three of these fingers were bent like this way, like they were going the wrong way. And I was like, oh man. And I went and I just shook my hand as hard as I could, and then I grabbed and I pulled, and whatever wasn't popped back into place by me shaking it was popped back into place by me pulling it. I cannot tell you. Like, I mean, I have, like I said, broken toes. I've been knocked unconscious. I've had all kinds of bad things happen to me. I've never broken a major bone, so I can't speak to that, but that was by far like the most painful injury I've ever endured. And the worst thing about it is that when you dislocate a finger, it takes way, 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 way longer to heal than if you just break one. I've broken fingers before too. This finger, you see this finger right here, this finger doesn't straighten. I broke like right here and tore whatever tendon runs from here to here. So, I mean, I can straighten it manually, but I can't actually like, so I did that falling off my bike. But I can't tell you, dislocating fingers is just the most unpleasant experience. And I'm right-handed, so doing it to my right hand was worse, and it didn't feel better it wasn't until like 6 months later that I was back to like fully 100% on that hand almost. So, what else? I've been knocked unconscious. Not a pleasant experience, let me tell you what. And I imagine there was probably a mild concussion associated with that as well, but I never actually went to the doctor about it, even though I probably should have. I think that's it. I think that's all the major injuries I can think of. Oh no, I've cracked ribs before too. I've had broken ribs. That's not a good time. Cracked ribs are very unpleasant because everything hurts. Like breathing hurts, laughing hurts, coughing hurts, everything hurts. So cracked ribs, also an unpleasant injury. Still not as bad as this dislocating fingers though. Like if I had to pick between cracking a rib and dislocating 3 fingers on my right hand, I would still pick the cracked rib. That's how much that sucked. I can't even tell you. There's actually there's a video here on the YouTube channel, if you go track it down, of me after I broke a toe, like my little pinky toe, just like twisting it sideways. And if you want to get grossed out, you can go look at it. Go find it somewhere. You just go, and it's just like legit, like twisting that toe around wherever it broke. And like broken toes don't even faze me anymore at this point. You tape them up and they're good in a couple weeks and whatever. What other injuries? Oh, last one. I also was running down the street with my dog when I was like 13, and I tripped over the leash because the dog cut in front of me, and I fell face first because my arms were wrapped up in the leash, and I hit this eyebrow directly on a manhole cover. and split the eyebrow open. And I didn't realize I'd split the eyebrow open. I thought I'd just scrape my face because I felt a little pain right here. The shock didn't allow me to feel the split open eyebrow. So I scraped my face up a little bit, and I got up, and there's two kids down the street, like college kids, and they were like, "Oh, man, are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm good, I'm good." They're like, "Where do you live?" I'm like, "I am right at the street." So they walked me home with the dog and whatever. And, as we're walking up there, I kind of felt some wetness. I touched my face, my hand came back, and I was all red. And I was like, "Am I bleeding?" And they're like, the one guy, and we'll never forget his face, he looks at me and goes, "Yeah." And if you guys have never seen a face wound, especially an eyebrow wound, they bleed like crazy. Like, I had no idea. And so I went home, and my dad was taking a nap on the couch, and I walked in the door. I'm like, "Hey, Dad." And he like kind of wakes up and looks at me and goes, "Oh, Jesus." Jumps up because I walked in the house. I can't even imagine what I looked like because we went to the bathroom. We went to go clean me up, and he didn't let me look in the mirror. He didn't want me to see how bad it is. So I couldn't see. So he was like, so I went to go, to go look in the mirror. He's like, no, just sit on the tub. Just sit on the edge of the tub. We're going to clean this up. I'm like, "Oh, okay." And I still didn't know what the deal was. And then he put me in his car, and he was selling police equipment at the time. So he had a demo car with like police lights and siren and everything like that. He was not a police officer. Right? He just sold the equipment. So he had the lights on his car and stuff like that. So he puts me in the car and he drives me to the urgent care facility, and he hits all the lights on, and we're driving along, and I've got like an ice pack and paper towels on my forehead, and I'm like, what you can't run these lights. I knew he couldn't run the lights. I'm like, "You can't run these lights. It's not okay. Like, what if we get pulled over?" He's like, "If we get pulled over, anybody that pulls us over is going to understand," because apparently, again, I was covered in blood. Like, I had no idea. I was completely covered in blood. So we got there, and it turned out I needed like stitches in my eyebrow and stuff like that. And I hated needles at the time. They had to put a Novocaine in there, and I was very much against that. And oh my God, the whole experience was just so silly. And in the end, I never actually really felt the pain from the eyebrow because I was in shock, and then they numbed it up, and then they stitched it up, and by the time the topical analgesic and everything else, anesthetic and everything else wore off, I was like, "What's the big deal, guys?" And it was, yeah. So, and I wish I could show you a scar from that, but it was actually like in my eyebrow, and beyond that, I think they did a pretty good job stitching it up, so there isn't really much of a scar. Okay. That was long. That was much longer than I expected it to be. Those are all my injuries. That is a great question. Thank you, Benny. I hope your leg is feeling better. I hate being injured. Injuries are the worst. So I hope your leg's feeling better, and you get back on both feet again soon. John Smith is up next, and he says, "My healthy habit is to start wiping the bits of brains from my enemies off my boots. But seriously, my healthy habit is trying to help my insulin sensitivity level, aka reduction of carbs, as an experiment. Now, for my question weight belt. Wait, we're moving on. Run on sentences here. Okay. So, my healthy habit is trying to help my insulin sensitivity level, aka reduction of carbs, as an experiment. Okay. End of sentence. Cool. That's a good goal. However, it's not a habit. A habit is something, I'm just using you as a teachable experience here. Don't think I'm picking on you. But a habit is something that you're going to do every day. It's a particular action that you're going to take every single day if possible. So something along those lines would be your healthy habit is going to be, measuring your sugar levels. Or your healthy habit is going to be making sure you eat small amount of carbs every 4 hours instead of a whole bunch of carbs every 6 or whatever. Figure out some way to phrase it so that it's something that you do daily. Because if it's a habit, it has to be something that you fit into a predictable format. Like every day I will do this. So you can do it with that, and I see you commenting down on Facebook now. Hi. Studying, I guess, is, well, you can still do the insulin thing. The insulin thing is something that you can do. You just have to figure out some way to phrase it as a habit. Like, I will do X thing every day. I will, at the beginning of every day, I will chart out what carbohydrates I will be eating. Every day, I will write out that schedule in the morning, and I will not change that. So that's a way to phrase that habit. Second, here we go. As an experiment. Now for my question, weight belt opinion. I'm guessing opinion on weighted belts, like the kind of belt you can strap around your waist and then hook weights into, like weight plates for doing dips and pull-ups. On the whole, they're good. I would not wear one all the time for everything, but if you want to increase the difficulty of your dips, your pull-ups, they're great. Same with weighted vests. Weighted vests obviously are a bit more utilitarian. You can use them in more things because you don't have weights hanging around your crotch. Oh wait, no like Harbinger belts. All right, I gotta look this up. Oh, so they're just weighted belts that are like weighted vests, kind of a thing. I mean, eh. Like all weighted stuff, it's good for adding extra, extra weight to certain body weight activities. Personally, I would prefer a vest, just because it sits on your center of gravity better. It's in a place where you're better designed to bear weight. But that's just me. And again, it's just mostly like for obviously increasing the difficulty of body weight exercises. I would not wear one all the time. I would never wear weighted clothes all the time because that's just a way to do damage and stuff. They help with core and lifts. Oh, okay. So you just mean like regular old a regular lifting belt, like not a particular brand of belt. So just like, all right. So now I'm on the same page, I think. So you mean basically when you're doing heavy lifts, when someone's doing heavy lifts, sometimes they will put a weight belt on, not a weighted belt, but a belt that assists with your core, with keeping your core tense when you're lifting. This is for everyone that does not know what we're talking about right now. Basically, they're usually big, wide, very sturdy belts made of leather or something like nylon, something heavy duty. And it goes around, mostly around your full core, like your abs, and you tighten it up as tight as you can. And then when you are lifting a heavy weight, you basically think about flexing your abs and your back out into it and your obliques so that you're basically trying to compress against the belt. And it's to help keep your core tight so that your core does not fail when doing heavy lifts. As far as my opinion on them, you reach a certain point in lifting where you need them. However, if you're not lifting, like if you're not deadlifting over like, 300-400 pounds, you probably don't need one. Instead, your better bet is just to strengthen your core. Drop the weight on the lifts, focus on your technique and your proper core tension, and then go from there. I'm not against the use of them, and if you really, really need one, use it. However, I would say that unless you're doing more than 2 times your own body weight, you should probably just be working on strengthening your core muscles in general. On your off days, work planks, leg lifts, dragon flags, toe to bar touches, stuff like that. Ways to build your core up so that it's more prepared. And then if you need to, drop the weight on your lifts for a little bit to whatever weight you can sustain while keeping your core tight. It's more of a muscular cue thing than anything else. So I would say they're fine, but most people are not lifting at a level where they actually need them. They're just making up for a deficit in core strength. So I would say go ahead and build your core strength rather than relying on the belt unless you're really lifting super heavy ass weights. Second, I seem to be catching the usual seasonal cold. I want to know if you had any tips to keep from interfering with my training. Well, 2 different things here. So first off, I've been sick for the past 2 days. I have not worked out for the past 2 days. As far as colds go, like a seasonal cold, I would just train right through it. Unfortunately, that's not what I had. What I had for the past 2 days, I think, was some kind of real nasty infection. I don't know what it was. Left me feeling completely exhausted. The way I phrased it on Snapchat was I feel like Superman that got hit by kryptonite. Like that, infections and stuff like that would not train through. A cold, like your common cold, like the rhinovirus cold, usually you can train right through that. It's almost as much of an allergic reaction as anything else, and as such, I would, maybe take some mild cold meds, but nothing heavy, and then just train right through it. That's usually what I do. If I get a cold, don't matter. I'm going to work out. The things that keep me from working out are like heavy-duty infections, migraines and really bad headaches, stuff like that. So I would say if you have a cold, most of the time, just train through it unless a doctor tells you otherwise, because usually it makes no difference, and sometimes it can even actually help. If your immune system is compromised by an infection, not a great idea. If you're just having some sort of normal cold, working out through it can actually sometimes help. It helps clear your sinuses. It helps to boost your immune system a bit. It helps to kind of get your body going, as long as you're not training super, 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 super hard. Like I would lay off the heavy duty sprints or, boss battles. There's the plug for the upcoming book. But your usual workout routine, I just do it. I want to know if you had any tips to keep it from interfering with training. Blah, blah. Finally, if you could lay down an idea for a character workout, would you be willing to critique/edit it? Absolutely. Just go ahead and email it to me, dan@beagaincharacter.com. I will go ahead and give you my feedback on it and let you know what I think. Marshall, who we actually featured on the blog a couple of weeks ago, as a success story. Real life game character Marshall actually did that for Iron Fist from Marvel. He really wants an Iron Fist workout. I told him I might get to it at some point, but in the meantime, he wanted to come up with his own, so he sent it to me. I took a look at it. I said, yeah, it looks good, and we went from there. So if you want, go ahead and email me, dan@beagameCharacter.com, or you can send me a message on Facebook with your theoretic idea. Yeah. So did you talk about the boss battle thing on the channel? I did a little bit at the very beginning of the video, the YouTube video, if you're just hopping in on the Facebook Live thing. Again, we're going to end with the tail end of that. Boss battles should be coming out in the beginning of October. Boss battles is going to be an ebook like RPG Fitness. It's going to be designed to plug into RPG Fitness. It's an expansion pack, so it's not going to be as expensive as RPG Fitness. But it's going to be just a collection of real heavy-duty super workouts that are not meant to be done on a regular basis, but like once or twice a month for like extra experience points and to make yourself feel awesome and or test where you're at. And they're going to be, they're tailored to different archetypes. There's a whole bunch of the different ones. How much? I don't know yet. I got to see how much I end up. I'm still writing the book, so I don't know how many workouts I'm going to put in there. We'll see. But it is going to be less than RPG Fitness. So it's just an expansion pack. Whole bunch of heavy-duty, serious workouts to be done on a non-regular basis. Just kind of, I'm going to pick this ridiculous workout and do it and see how I do. And that's going to be the idea behind it. So I'm having a lot of fun writing it. Right now, so far, we're up to, I think, 16 workouts. There's going to be more than that. That's just, I'm only just now getting to weight workouts. Like up to that point, I think it was mostly body weight workouts. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited for it. A lot of other people are excited for it. And I will definitely be talking about it like crazy as we get closer to the release of it. Also, headbands. I noticed. I know I promised headbands soon. I really mean it. Headbands soon. Very, very soon. I had to hash out some shipping stuff and how stuff was set up in my store. So, 16 total workouts so far. The workouts kind of bridge between classes. There are archetype recommendations, but they're basically, so they're going to be recommended for either the rogue, the fighter, or the tank. And some of them bridge. A lot of the ones that I've done so far could be rogue or fighter based. And I started the book by saying, even if it's not meant for your archetype, don't feel bad about going for it, because there's a whole lot of different things in there. And if you want to just try something that looks fun, just try something that looks fun. So that's where we're at on boss battles. That's coming soon. And we are done with questions for today. So let's see. Okay. So, your question for next week, since we're talking about boss battles, what is the hardest boss that you have ever fought in any video game? What is the boss that you hated? What's the boss that you found yourself wishing, God, I wish the save point was just right directly on top of this boss arena right now, because I have died and come back so many times. I'm tired of walking the 15 feet to this boss. Or in Dark Souls, I'm tired of walking 350 feet through like 8 different enemies to get back to this boss. So, hardest boss you have ever faced in any game. What is the boss that gave you the most trouble? So go ahead and let me know in the comments below, and then ask me a question for next week. So, as always, remember to live boldly, change the world, and continue to be awesome. Bye-bye.